Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with Code Geass. We're on episode 11 of Season 2, and in the last couple of episodes we've basically moved over to China, so everything's going on in China. Things are already kicking off. So, the Black Knights and the United States of Japan have moved over to a sort of man-made island called Horai. I think that's what it is, Horai, one of those two. So that's basically where the main sort of civilians are living out, whilst the Black Knights are getting up to stuff. So there was a whole arranged marriage between the Britannian Empire and the Chinese Federation. So the Empress of China, and I believe, I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's like Odysseus or something. But I think he's the first prince or something in Britannia. But yeah, there was an arranged marriage between those two, so obviously those can get together and ally, and basically if those two ally, that's a massive fucking superpower right there. Like that's a huge, that would be a big deal, because at that point I don't think anybody could challenge them. So, you know, we had Shinke, who made a promise to the Empress to take her outside and stuff, and basically make her free. So he had his own ideas to go in and basically save the princess. However, Lelouch, knowing that that probably wasn't an option, considering he doesn't have a lot at his disposal in terms of like firepower or like any real army. Like, where would he really be able to get to? Like, you would just be chased down and immediately picked up, and all of it would have been for nothing. So I back Lelouch in his sort of decision to jump in and take the Empress for himself, because I think that is the safest hands that she can possibly be in. I don't think she would have been safe with just Shinke. However, I think that there could have easily been a plan worked out here. Like, I don't see why there had to be a whole thing between Lelouch and Shinke. It was cool that we got to see that, because I think Shinke is a great character, but I don't see how they couldn't have worked together on this. But it is what it is. So yeah, we'll have the whole sort of fight. The Chinese Federation sort of looked to Shinke, even though Shinke clearly was against them. They looked to Shinke in their hour of need to go get her back. And they promised him some weaponry, and that weaponry turned out to be another nightmare for him called Shen Hu, which it was made the same time as the Gurren, and they're basically like sort of like sister units. But the Shen Hu was actually more high tech, and actually when it was made, they couldn't find anyone to pilot it because it was too high tech. But now with Shinke, he can actually do it, and it was pretty cool. Lelouch was giving them, props, saying that Shinke is a master strategist and whatnot, and then they had the whole thing. He was a great tactician as well, and actually outdid Lelouch. So he's not one to be messed with, because he has the combat prowess of someone like Suzaku as well. And when you have someone with a mind that can stand up to Lelouch, and the combat prowess of someone who can stand up to Suzaku, you may be the most OP character in this show. I mean, disregarding any Geass, but like straight up like raw like physical power, or like normal ability. So yeah, Shinke's a bit of a badass. Although the disease that he has, or whatever it is that he has, I'm not sure if it's like, I mean, he's coughing up blood, so I'm not sure. Is it like tuberculosis or something like that? But yeah. So, during this fight, Carlin got captured, and Shinke took them to like the Chinese Federation, where the eunuchs and all of that were off. And that said, Lelouch tried to go after her, even though Dietard said that he shouldn't. And by doing that, pretty much risked everything. Luckily, they had a plan to get out of there, but yeah, Colin's stuck there. And then immediately, once Colin was in and Lelouch and whatnot were backing up, the Chinese Federation returned the favour to Shinke and turned their back on him and sort of betrayed him and whatnot, because the Britannian Empire showed up, and now they're working with them. So, Lelouch and the Black Knights have like this little sort of cove that's only got one entrance in, and are waiting for aid from from India, I believe. Hopefully that happens. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all we really need to talk about, right? Lelouch has still got the Empress, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here on out. But I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, other than yeah, Jeremiah's back. So great. So yeah. Anyway, without further ado, we're gonna get into this. So episode 11, let's go.
She said that she's sorry, but she can't buy us any souvenirs.
Oh yeah, fucking Lelouch's. I forgot about this.
Make an announcement so everyone knows she's okay.
I can't remember why. How has this happened? How was Lelouch here?
You're acting way too nice to everyone, but I'm supposed to keep his relationships harmonious. Those were Zero's exact orders.
Yes.
What?
Yes, I see your point. After all,
I'm a woman who served both Lelouch and Zero.
Sayoko, Zero is in danger.
Whoa!
Right now.
What?
Britannian forces inside of China?
That's right. The Knights of the Round have entered the battle zone.
We still have the Chinese Empress as a captive. They can't just start shooting at us.
Full-scale bombardment. The Chinese Federation intends to obliterate the mausoleum of 88 emperors and us along with it. They want her to die.
Lelouch has a plan though, right? In place.
The High Eunuchs. They'd violate this sacred mausoleum for their petty ambitions. All forces cease fire! Her Imperial Empress is inside!
We've already arranged for a new Empress to replace her.
You dare to say this?!
You're the one? The guy who started the coup d'etat?
Stand aside, Britannian. This concerns my country alone!
You captured the Guru, isn't that right?
I happen to have a bit of unfinished business with that nightmare and its pilot.
Ride with honor and strike like steel!
Roger. I'll go out in Yakutski.
Stand aside! I am Kyoshiro Todo!
Fuck yes, he is.
Really could go down this time. They've got the Lancelot and those next generation units.
That's a lot of fucking firepower.
Split into 3 groups! Surround her and fire!
We won't accept your surrender. It's too late now.
You insist on fighting, even though your own Empress will die in the attack?
The Empress is merely a system. There are plenty of others to replace her.
You used her to gain noble titles in the Britannian court.
You have sharp ears, don't you? A cheap price to pay for power.
Cheap. A phony treaty that gives China's land to a foreign nation?
Masters and commoners will always breed.
Like insects.
That fucking guy sounds like Weevil from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Shield.
Paper pushers who know nothing about noblesse oblige.
It's actually going out into the
Stop it!
What are you?
Stop all this fighting!
Just out there, just like alone, like.
Fire on the Empress.
Hang on, Shenhu. My life is yours. Take it if you must, but save the Empress!
Oh, fuck.
Run away, Your Majesty, but you haven't seen any of the world yet. I will defend you here.
But without you, it's no good. JK, it has to be you and I together. It has to be.
I can't save you after all. I can't protect you. I don't care who, but please, someone save her!
Very well. I understand.
Fucking hell. Oh. Oh shit. Awesome. Hello everyone, just a reminder that if you go to the link in the description to my Patreon and get the early access tier for $5 a month, you can gain access to 4 episodes of Code Geass every single week. That is 4 on Monday and 4 on Friday. No, that's 2 on Monday, 2 on Friday. My apologies. And yeah, you get them a week early as well. So if you're coming for more reactions from me more frequently from Code Geass, gains in the link in the description of my Patreon, the early access tier for $5 a month. On with the video.
What is that nightmare? It's not only protecting the Empress, but Shinkei as well.
If you want to keep fighting, are you prepared for the consequences?
Zero? He's come to the front line himself?
King should
I
lead.
gave you your chance. Let no one forget that.
Oh.
Nightmare frame Shinkiro. Its absolute defense field is the strongest protective shield system in the world.
Shinkiro. Oh, fuck. What is that weapon? What? Did it like fire out like a prism and then like fire at the prism and it...
Just hang back and wait them out. There's something strange about this. Why did Zero choose this time to show up in front?
You were betrayed by your own countrymen, and you couldn't
was a
even
plan,
save
right?
one little girl.
He
You get it now? You need me.
did it.
I'm
He
the
did
only
it for that.
ally you can rely on. You have the potential to lead your entire nation. They need deliverance.
Emergency alert! Riots have broken out in Shanghai!
Street riots?
Shit, street riots.
People are rising up everywhere.
Rebellions breaking out simultaneously?
Can you run it?
Yes.
The Empress is merely a system. There are plenty of others to replace her.
And what about the common people you swore
That
to
was the
protect?
plan.
Zero,
That's
when
what
you walk
Detard
down
said.
the street, do you
Awesome.
Thanks to the Empress, the High Eunuchs are now firmly cast as the villains.
You mean you planned on their betrayal?
Couldn't have caused he made use of someone else's plan already in place.
Correct. I stole another strategy of yours as well.
Fucking Lelouch.
Coup and
That's why he
We
couldn't
do have
work with
reinforcements.
Shenke
The
before.
starving masses of this land are the backup we needed.
Strike!
The Black Knights are to be annihilated. She's just as tough as I expected. No!
What was that? What happened?
What is this? So, that's what you did.
I thought there was something weird about her.
Anya, no!
The High Eunuchs have lost the people's support.
Damn.
They're no longer qualified to join us as representatives of the Chinese Federation.
So Prince Schneisel has abandoned you.
Yeah, get fucked.
where is Colin Kosuke?
She was classified
Ah.
as a POW and transferred out.
Yeah, it's just going with the fucking.
Oh, you're trying to take everything away from me. Even Colin.
I thought we were going to meet in the Britannian homeland.
This is another temple.
In your attempt to recreate C2's power, you enhanced Lord Jeremiah.
You should be pleased. It's a great honor for you.
You should be pleased.
I shall protect you in the future as well. Until the very end of time.
How long has he got left though? How long is he?
So strange. I'm so happy.
We need to let the world know that the Empress's betrothal to the Britannian prince is off. The best
I knew I
way
was
do
right
that
to
is
trust
have her
Lelouch in
marry
this.
someone from our side, a member of a Japanese family, would be perfect.
Who though?
We can have her marry Toto. Even Tamaki would do.
Oh shit.
If you'd like, I can.
You mustn't.
Lady Kaguya, this is a political maneuver. It isn't personal.
You're wrong. It is personal. She has a point.
We're at war. Lives are at stake.
Hey, you're pushing it, buddy.
Buddy, I am a staff officer.
I never thought C2 would object to this. I could easily use my Geass to make Shinke and the others go along with this. So what's the problem? Shirley, can I ask you something? The thing is, there's this couple that just has to split up, but I can't convince anyone else.
Do they want to split up?
No, it's a political issue. I mean, family politics. You know.
Don't break them up. Love is power. When you love someone that has incredible power. And I've always felt like that is... What about you, Lulu? Haven't you ever felt that way for someone important to you?
She's right. I have. Passion has the power to change the whole entire world. That's the truth, isn't it, Shirley?
Majesty! Your future belongs to you. You decide your own fate.
Zero.
Zero's acting so weird right now.
We need to establish a position of power.
The human heart is the source of all our power.
I'm starting to see what kind of man dwells behind that mask.
The path ahead of us is arduous.
That's precisely why tomorrow belongs to us alone.
Lulu has really been acting strange lately. One minute he's his usual self, the next he's weirdly nice. Like,
Hi, you need something?
I told you earlier I was going to bring back these gardening books.
Of course, that's right.
How is she able
This
to
isn't good.
mimic?
If she sees the panel before it closes, she'll know about the underground control center. I can't let her see it. I've got to stop her.
Oh, it's not gonna
Sure.
kick.
Lulu,
Fuck's sake, I knew that was gonna happen. I knew it as soon
We
as.
will find Colin.
No!
Return to Area 11.
In any case, this gets us back on track so we can hit them at their deepest level.
the religious order.
The ones that are trying to create warriors with the Geass power. If we can control the Order, then I can surpass the Emperor in terms of Geass.
They change locations when a new leader is named, so it's almost impossible to track them.
But you're certain they're based in the Chinese Federation right now. That's why I took over the Chinese Federation. The flow of goods, power supplies, communications, the Order must leave traces of its existence.
Huh? This is that. They must have been talking about this like off screen. Because that's the first time I've heard about the Order.
Welcome home, brother.
Oh shit, he's back already.
He's staying here for quite a while now. Isn't that right, Lelouch?
Yes, I have to develop some effective countermeasures for the Knights of the Round.
Fuck's sake.
Shirley, are you okay?
Psycho didn't mention it at all either, did you?
What happened with us yesterday?
Yesterday?
Fuck's sake.
Morning, Lelouch Lamperouge.
It's Anya.
What's she doing here?
Hey, we've been waiting for you. Anyway, we've both just enrolled here at Ashford. I am really looking forward to this.
Oh no.
Man.
Right.
Okay, episode 11. Fucking hell. Oh man, there's so much happening. Alright, so it was Sayako that was posing as Lelouch. What the fuck is that technology? It's just come out of nowhere. Like, it's not even just a mask either. It sort of melds and forms into his face, like when it's attached. But when it's taken off, it just looks like a sort of like a plastic sort of like mold kind of thing. So yeah, Psycho was obviously posing as Lelouch because obviously the idea Lelouch is still trying to keep it under wraps that he is actually Zero. So with him having that whole alibi back at Ashford, there's they can't say it was him. So yeah, I don't know where they've got that technology from. I'm guessing Rock Shadow must have made it. I'm not really sure if that's her kind of specialty, but she's smart enough. I'm sure she could figure it out. Okay, so the Chinese Federation was alright with the Empress dying because they would just put in a new figurehead that they could just manipulate and whatever. It's seemingly surprising that it took the Britannian Empire quite a while to even they seem to be alright with it. We know what the Britannian Empire is like, right? They're not exactly, they don't have the greatest record when it comes to people keeping people alive, or wanting people alive. But then again, Schneisel and the way Schneisel seems to work. I mean, you also have Gino seems to have a heart, and you also have Suzaku there that didn't even seem. But I don't know. They probably didn't have all the information. We don't know what they had because they just came in later anyway. So yeah. We had the sacred tomb thing that basically where a bunch of previous emperors and empresses were buried. That was where they held up, and yeah, we had a new mech, a new nightmare frame, Shenkiro, that's basically mostly defense, but it had a fucking amazing weapon on it. It had this thing that shot out from its chest that I think was like a clear prism, and it shot like a laser through the prism, which I think once it hit the prism, it kind of obviously reflected in the prism like glass, and reflected out different ways, like you would if a laser hit a crystal or a diamond, it would shoot out of the gem different ways. I think that's what happened, but it was fucking cool. It's that one might be my favorite attack, and coming from a nightmare frame that is primarily defense. But it was cool. And I love the fact that it's all come full circle now. So the reason why Lelouch did not immediately in the last couple episodes, I was basically saying I still don't know why Shinkai and Lelouch didn't team up on this whole thing, because I don't see how both of them could have got their wishes if they both worked together. And now I know why, because Lelouch was waiting for the perfect moment to come out. He needed the Chinese Federation to betray him again for this whole thing to work. I love the fact that that's the reason why he needed to do it, so that he could basically get Shinkai on his side, to show that this is like your best chances to be with, to be like alongside us. I love that. I fucking love it, man. I knew there was something more. I knew there was. I said when he took the Empress, I was like, there has to be something more here, because it's not just plain and simple what you get on the surface. I knew it. But yeah, love it. Okay, so I'll leave that one for the last. We need to get through where Schneisel eventually wanting to withdraw because the eunuchs had like lost the people and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one, this one, because while Schneisel obviously, when we see him more often than not, he does have a sort of very honourable take on things. Yet he never really. I'm sure he's a smart enough guy. He would know that the eunuchs, like, what they were. But I'm wondering if he was putting duty ahead of his sort of like the honourable decision. I think obviously, even though he knew the eunuchs were like the real power, I think he was just doing his duty to try and let this whole thing like go through, like the wedding and whatnot, and try his best to basically to get the Chinese Federation on their side. But as soon as the riots and as soon as he lost the people, that's when it kind of, yeah, that's when we kind of had to withdraw. So yeah, I kind of get it. I think now that I'm talking about it, now that I see how it's working, yeah, kind of it makes sense. It wouldn't be good for the Britannian Empire to be allied with a nation by means of getting the whole Chinese Federation, like the people, against you. That's not the way that the Britannian Empire work. They're more about like getting people in line and hopefully, like, you know, sort of understanding what the Britannian Empire are kind of doing and keeping the people on their side whilst they go through with it, as opposed to like having them fight back. So I mean, there's that whole thing about the Chinese Federation has the highest grossing like number of people in the entire world. So, you know, if shit was to hit the fan and Britannian Empire are, you know, involved with it, I don't think they really want that sort of thing backfiring on them. So yeah, it makes sense that Schneisel pulled out. Anybody who thought, yeah, never mind, I'm not even gonna talk about Schneisel pulling out. Yeah, we're at another Geass temple. So V2, Jeremiah, and fuck, what's his name? He's always at these Geass temples. He's like almost like the head, like sort of like honcho, kind of going around. I can't remember his name. I don't even know why I looked at him. Can't remember his name. The bald guy. Fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember it. Anyway, yeah, they're at another Geass temple. Of course, it's still going along with the whole thing, going around the whole world, finding these temples. It's interesting because this episode we got introduced, like Lelouch and C2 were talking about the Order, which previously we've never heard before. I'm positive this is the first time they're talking about it. Now, we know that Lelouch and C2 have been having discussions about Geass users and stuff, and how there's other ones, and obviously V2 and stuff, but it just hasn't been shown on screen. It hasn't been talked about. So I believe this is the first time we're hearing about the Order, and that they're looking for it. I'm guessing they believe it must be in the Chinese Federation somewhere. That's the reason why Lelouch is wanting to get the whole people on his side so that it's easier to find, kind of thing. Also, C2 was the leader of the Order at one point, but was overtaken. Which is interesting. Like, how does one... Like, how does the order work? Like, I'm wondering, like, it's almost as if, like, if this is, like, an order, and if CC... I keep saying this. If C2 was the leader... but was overtaken, it's almost like she is like rogue. Like, she's gone rogue. And I'm guessing, like, it's almost like the same with V2 as well. Because, you know... It's not like they're all hanging out in one place, but that's seemingly what Lelouch is looking for. It's like a sort of like a place, like a headquarters. Maybe they hang out as a group. And what's its like? What's the deal with it? Like, what's the goal of the order exactly? I'm sure we'll get answers to that. But fuck, it's just a strange sort of like. It's sort of like a separate thing, like a separate entity in this world that has always been there, I guess. But like, just knowing that it's there, it's kind of like, it's almost like an outsider thing. Like, where you've got the whole thing, the whole point of this happening is for Lelouch to take out Britannia. It's almost like a very normal, grounded goal. But then, and the like, we've also had the Geass thing, which is not exactly grounded, is it? But you know, I guess at some point we always had to get to this point where, you know, learning about the Geass and where it comes from, especially considering we've had like Geass temples and shit, and what do they mean, and how does getting something. I'm guessing they are accumulating things from each temple to, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a whole thing of like, if you get something from every Geass temple, maybe you get the location or the coordinates for where the order is, or what. I mean, we know that the Emperor is obviously going around each of these temples to do something. I mean, I guess to accumulate like power. I don't know. We'll have to see, because I'm not even sure exactly what the Geass is. Like, what is it really about? Is it like, how does it work? We know that obviously C2 can, like, you know, she gave it to Lelouch, and it's the power to order people. Is it a kind of thing where there are, well, obviously we know there's multiple powers. Is there like a power for every temple in the world? Like, each temple has a specific power. Each temple held like a member of the order, maybe. You know, then, you know, maybe there's that. I just want to get more information on it, really. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to talk about that for now. And Anya and Gino are now students at Ashford as well. So yeah, I'm guessing we're going to be heading back from Area 11 and like the Chinese Federation, like just back and forth. I mean, as of right now, I'm not sure where the story's going to focus on, like where it's going to really take place. I feel like because what are the they need to be they need to be a part of the Chinese Federation, because that's obviously where the United States and Japan is, and they're looking for the order, which is their thinking is somewhere around in the Chinese Federation. So I guess there's that. But at Area 11, we've got the whole thing with, like, you know, Nunnally's over there and whatnot, and she's like obviously the Viceroy there. I'm wondering where the main focus of the story is going to take place. Seemingly it's Schneisel that is the sort of main counterpart this time round. Like, obviously at the back end, like for the longest time actually it was Cornelia in season 1, but as of right now I'm guessing it's more or less Schneisel. So yeah, I don't know where we're going to go from here. I'm I'm going to imagine we're going to be hanging out in China more, like more. You know, I think we're going back there. I think coming back to Area 11 is just kind of like to come back for a bit and then go all the way back for like a longer period of time. And we'll see what happens there with that. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Anya. So there was I didn't write it down, but like was it last episode where she's like flicking through photos and stuff, and she's like, "Is this Lelouch? Like, this is Lelouch, yeah?" And it's like a photo of a little boy Lelouch. How does she have that photo? I mean, she's an oddity anyway. Like, Gino is just a dude, you know what I mean? He's like he's seemingly like a good-hearted, you know, kind of dude, very upbeat. But Anya's so like strange. Like, she's very kind of monotone. She's very just like straight-faced. Nothing really phases her much. And after last episode, I was like, yeah, there is something weird about her, and now what we had in this episode kind of cements that. There was something similar, obviously. The most similar thing I can obviously take from this is what happened in season 1, where C2 touched the Lancelot and gave sort of transferred images to Suzaku's head, and that ended up, and then Lelouch touched, and then everything went to shit. Now I don't know why it went to shit after Lelouch touched her, but it did. So there's something with, I don't know if there's something similar that Lelouch and Anya have that makes that shit happen, but clearly there was something that happened there with Anya, and also I'm not sure if C2, if that's something she has to, because with Suzaku in season 1 it was something that she allowed to happen, like she's the one that like forced it to happen, whereas in this instance it almost wasn't like C2 meant for that to happen. It was almost like, because she was in close proximity to Anya and like the nightmare frames were like touching or whatever, that it sort of drawed it out of her. So there's weird things with Anya that I'm not really sure exactly what it all means yet. I mean, C2 said, "So that's what you did." I'm gonna go find the
Madam President, is she all right?
Shanghai!
Street nations aren't dirt, and they're not systems.
Yes, I thought that's what you'd do, brother. However,
What do you think the Emperor would have done, Canon? Forget it.
When transferred out.
what?
The High Eunuchs handed her over as a favor to the Knight of...
But that's not going to happen. I promise.
Indeed, masters and commoners will own them. There are plenty of
Communication between Zero and the...
And there are 14 other areas that were slumable. Shanghai, Shushan, Beijing, Burma,
Shanghai!
street riots.
Riots of emergency.
One little girl. Do you get it now? You need me. I'm the only ally you can rely on.
I'll never be subordinate to you, Zero.
Subordinate? Me. Only ally.
Empire Nation.
Strike!
The Black Knights are to be annihilated. She's just as tough as I expected.
No! Then we can take the offensive and strike!
The Black Knights are to be annihilated. She's just as tough as I expected.
No!
what you did?
Yeah. So there's something weird there where there was flashes of Lelouch with his childhood. There was a flash of little Lelouch, a flash of Marianne, Lelouch's mother, and Nunnally. And then C2 says, so that's what you did. And Anya doesn't seem to remember it. So that's what you did. Maybe this goes further back than... Maybe there's more. Maybe there's like... What if Lelouch had like another sister? Would anybody know about that? Would anybody? Nah, because I feel like that would have been brought up by like. Because I'm thinking like maybe the Emperor took away memories of like Anya for people, you know. Because I'm just wondering why else is Anya so connected to Lelouch's past? Seeming like she has photos of young Lelouch. There's something there that I'm. So that's what you did. I mean, I'm not sure if you can take it as like Anya was the one that like led the murder of Marianne or whatever. There's more there than but the fact that Anya doesn't recognize that, when she was seeing the images, she asked immediately, what was this? So the fact that she doesn't remember it, but the fact that this is being there's more with Anya here, and I'm not sure if it's like yeah, I don't know. There's something interesting with Anya that goes back to Lelouch's fucking bastard. It goes back to Lelouch's childhood. So yeah. And also, it's interesting that like C2 was like up against that, and it's like, she's like she question like she is happy about the way like her power is.
Unless he made you.
Wait a minute.
Another strategy of yours as well.
In other words, we're not trapped here without reinforcements. We're not without reinforcements.
The starving mass are the...
Then we can take the offensive and strike!
The Black Knights are to be annihilated. She's just as tough as I expected.
Yeah. Like, C2, like, saying, like, she's just as tough as I expected. Like, why is she so enthusiastic about, like, that? Like, normally, when it comes to C2, she's not very... I don't know, I feel like with obviously the addition of Lelouch in our life, she's a bit more... She's sort of opened up a bit more, and she seems a bit more, like, emotive, whereas at the beginning she's been, like, you know, before Lelouch had, like, really gotten, like, a hold of her, like, emotionally, she was not very emotive. So I'm not sure if it's just a case of, like, over the course of, you know, she's just kind of brightened up a bit more, or there's, like, something more to that. I'm not sure, but yeah, interesting nonetheless. But I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, because we've talked about a lot and I'm rambling on. So that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One is the Discord. If you want to go over there, especially if you want me to react to a certain show, because I will, you know, after our polls and things start. Or if you just want to come over and talk to me in the community, you're free to do that as well. And Patreon. So you can support me. If you do want to support me, I'll be very much appreciated. Over on Patreon, obviously the link is in the description. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you actually support me with. Early access, that's the most popular one, so that is $5 a month. So for that you gain access to all the Patreon shows I do a week early, and for Code Geass and Psycho Pass you get 4 episodes a week, as opposed to the usual 2 that the general public get. So if you're clamoring for more reactions from me more frequently, that's where you want to go. $10 a month, that's the full length. So if you want to see my full length reactions to all the shows I do, everything I react to gets a full length, then that's the one there for you. $15 a month, that's the exclusive tier, so that gives you access to another show which I'm currently doing, which is Parasite. That's about finished now, so So yeah, there's that. Also, all OVA reactions and all movie reactions go into there as well. $50, that is the elite tier, so every time you pay $50 you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It'll go at the back of the list. Might take me a while because there's about 7 or 8 shows in there, but I will get around to it. Or you can jump the list and go at the very front, in which case you would need to get God tier, which is $100, and that means that your show will be reacted to next. But that is all, so thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.